Hello everybody, it's me, I'm back. I'm giving you my final review of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, which is going to be the last game that I play on the Switch 1 for you guys, because we're moving on to the Switch 2 and all of Nintendo's evil and nefarious practices. But whatever the case, I wanted to talk about this specific game, and I'm really questioning my scheduling of it because typically people that play through games and review them, it takes them about a week or two, and me it takes 2 months because I just do like an hour here, an hour there, whatever. I mean, I try to be consistent with it, but for the most part, it leads to it taking me over 2 months to finish this game. I did 144 videos. I put in about 70 something hours, and now I never played the DLC before, so I was going into that blind. This is what you're seeing right now is the last video that I posted. The original game I played when it was released on the Wii U, and I find it hilarious how this sick and disgusting society here is obsessed with nerds and geekdom. And I hope you don't hear the music in the back. I don't want to get hit with a copyright infringement penalty or whatever, but it's my dude out there doing his gardening work, and that's the super. He likes to blast his 80s, 70s music, which is good music. I just don't want it in the background. But whatever the case, going back to the game itself, it's funny because everything is about cold, hard data, stats, and not context. And this is why trying to live in a world where you need to socially network and you see people trying to act like they're sports fans and what they say, or even just going on YouTube or Twitter or whatever just to post something. And the things that they talk about, it's like, dude, you don't know the reality of what you're saying because you're basing everything on numbers. And it's hilarious to me how when this game was first released years ago on the Wii U, it was given like average ratings. It wasn't even given decent ratings. Like some people said it was a 6 out of 10 or a 65 or a 60 or a 55 or out of 100, whatever. And this was during a period of time where games like BioShock Infinite and, of course, The Last of Us were being heralded as some of the greatest games you've ever played. And played? No, not even close. Watched? No, not even close. But even so, it was all about storyline this and storyline that. And this game was always great. Now that the Switch 1 has sold over 150 million consoles, it's easy for everyone to say, hey, this was a great game. Yeah, you're right. It is a great game because it always was a great game. They really didn't change anything about the quality of life and all that other stuff. And you look at it, I mean, I'm missing bars that tell me what my class rates and my experience point totalings for my level ups and everything. It's not there, but I might not have been there in the first place. I mean, it looks better. The one thing that I can say they did improve on was putting together a party, because originally you'd have to run out and find party members wherever they originally were found or wherever they hang in NLA or whatever, and then have them put themselves in your active party, as opposed to this where you could just go to active members and put them in. I mean, it was really rocket science. I don't know why they didn't have that in the first one. I mean, the original game was more or less advertised as almost like an MMORPG, which would have been the first one for the Wii U. The Wii U was released around the time where online play was starting to really take form and become as popular as it was or as it is now. And the Wii U was an experiment that led to the Switch, really. And it wasn't successful, didn't sell. I loved my Wii U. I mean, yeah, it was difficult with the gamepad to sometimes play the game on the screen and on the pad simultaneously, but they had great titles and they embraced independence, which everyone's a big fan of now. So it was good. It wasn't great. At the same time, the game itself, not the console, was always great. And the idea of picking up party members was more about you wanted to go to the Blade mainframe in New LA and pick up party members from the internet, pick up people that were playing online with you and may have been stronger than your character. I never had the DLC, as I said before, so I'm pretty sure the level 99 thing came with the DLC. the original cap was level 60, and the game never updated itself in terms of the experience points necessary, at least not from what I can experience or what I noticed, for you to get to level 60. So I never maxed out originally with a level 60 level up. I mean, and I played 70 something hours. Now, I didn't go out of my way grinding like a lunatic, but I did most of the available side quests. So I did miss one party member, but I recruited all the other ones. It's not like I missed so much content. It's pretty much the whole game I played, 70 something hours. There's so much you can do, and there's so much augmenting and weapons building and stuff that you can get involved in with defeating enemies. It's a very intense grind fest, but because the combat system is so friggin' infectious, it's so freaking addictive, you don't really care. And when you get the skills, it becomes even faster. You can wipe out strong enemies without too much of a problem. And obviously the game wants your main character to be a jack of all trades or a Jill of all trades, where you continually build up each class and change classes and everything like that. It's a tremendous combat system. Everything about playing the game is great. The storyline is really, really good. It's done in a way that's very anime, very sci-fi. It's the question that most Xenoblade games ask. Do we have a soul? It's pretty much what the series originally was about from Xenogears. So it's all there. I mean, you can tell the influence of the first Xenoblade Chronicles, which was the one that preceded this one in the timeline. Then when the Switch 1 came out, it was 2 and 3, 3 being the best out of all of them all around, especially when it comes to storyline. That's one of the great games I've ever played. But this one has a special place in itself because it was sort of similar to 1, but different in so many other ways. There is a little bit of an issue with storyline when the DLC kicks in. And what I mean by that is the flow slows down to a crawl because there is just way too much talking. Now, the game itself, when you are capable of maneuvering, you're capable of controlling your characters and everything, and there isn't a cutscene, which you could just skip. It's not like you can't. But the problem with it is that, you can grind, you can spend hours and hours, but you sort of have to watch the cutscenes in order to know what's going on in this universe and what that ending in the original game was. And with it, it's just repeating the same thing over and over again. And, I'm glad that Lynn, in a way, is used as sort of the, I don't want to say mascot, but one of the central figures of this game because of the fact that she represents innocence and everything. But at some point, having to listen to her 13-year-old Mimusom opinions on every aspect of what we're doing, it just gets a little old after a while. And ultimately, it's not a very long DLC if you skip the cutscenes. There's not much you have to do in it. You meet the guy that was the hero that was kind of mentioned that I originally thought was Elma the whole time. And you find out where Elma comes from and you find out what's happening. But it sort of makes me wonder, was this really plotted out thoroughly? Because the idea that the world is being sucked up yet again, and that's what destroyed Earth when we saw it explode from something being shot in a core or something. But the fact that it was being absorbed by these ghost things that come and go, and we have to fight this guy named Void just to escape the ghost again. But I keep asking, wouldn't the ghosts find you again? Like, are you just doomed to bring chaos and death and disorder into other worlds that you go into, specifically because this Void thing just keeps coming back? Or not even the Void thing, the ghosts keep coming back and creating dematerialization effects and everything. So there's so much that they answered with asking other questions that they won't answer. So to me, I appreciate the idea that they went with the whole, do we have a soul? Because as I've said, that's the core of Xenoblade or Xenogears, Xenosaga. But it's just a matter of, we could have made it, look, here's Void, here are the ghosts, these are what the ghosts are, this is what Void is, here's Al, hey Al, how you doing? And let's fight both. Let's see if we can maneuver the two of them to fight each other while we take out the leaders and call it a day. Let's see if we can take them on both ourselves. that I felt would have been better than, hey, we lost another world. Let's go into a new universe to find another world. And we'll probably lose that one too, because you don't really know what these ghosts are. Now, I didn't finish it. I'll admit, I didn't beat Void. The Void final boss was just absurd. We looked like we were doing well. He destroys my skull with one tentacle slap. Because as my beloved Bayonetta once said, why'd it have to be tentacles? And kills me in another tentacle slap. So I was saying, nope, I don't have time for this. I'm going to trade this in today. Sorry, I went as fair as I could possibly go. I do want to watch a speed run, and I'm going to see how it works with the Switch 2. I'm most likely going to get this game back. But as it stands now, I didn't finish it. However, I enjoyed virtually every minute of this game, and I played it a third time. This is the third time I played it. So as I mentioned originally, the game was always great. If they want to act like this game is great, I know that you're desensitized to bad games so much that when you play an older game that was considered average when it was released, it's going to seem like it's friggin' platinum now because you're so used to watching ugly people do ugly things and be miserable for 30, 40 hours of a game that's more or less just either Dark Souls, The Last of Us, or a combination of both, or maybe they go as far as make you a Doom clone or whatever, whereas Nintendo's the only company that can make real video games that change up the mechanics, give you something fun, yada yada. You've heard me say it a million times before. But this game was always great. It's a little cleaner looking, it's a little nicer looking. Elma is obviously in a bikini, but that was always the Xenoblade thing. Everything about it has not really changed other than the visuals and one little bit of quality of life with the team members from what I can tell. Also, the quick arts, when you're not in the scale, when you're ground level as your characters, that was new. So you can just keep going through for a time your arts over and over and over again and make combat a lot more quick-paced, seamless, innovative. Certain abilities are more effective when you have certain combos going on. All that stuff, fantastic. Everything about the game was great. The DLC, as I said, drags a little bit too much with the cutscenes and trying to figure out whether or not little Lynn has appreciated the life she's given. We never are really granted our human bodies anymore. So I don't know what the whole thing about saving the life core was, but we found out that our souls are just wandering off in this outer space, inner space, whatever you want to call it. But pretty much the game itself, it's ridiculously fun. You can spend hundreds of hours on it and not want to stop. You can spend hundreds of hours on one character, unlock everything. You can have more than one character on save files now, more than one save file, which they didn't have in the original one. That's another upgrade and everything. But the game itself, the core game, was always what it is. It's always what you saw. It was always great. It's just given that opportunity. And it's, again, not an elite grade, not a masterpiece, because it's a Nintendo exclusive, anti-Nintendo bias. Just look at all these numbnuts crushing Nintendo about the Switch 2 and all the things they're giving away for free with the few things they think are too expensive, despite the fact that you've been paying that much money for video games for the past God only knows how many years. I mean, if you bought the DLC for this game originally, it would have cost you $80-something, but whatever, you guys believe what you want to believe and all that stuff. Ultimately, the game itself is great. I would definitely say if you're interested in an RPG, JRPG that requires a lot of your attention, a lot of your time, and hooks you up with people online and gives you a different perspective on things and a different combat system and all that, definitely go for it. Definitely. If you're not an RPG type, it is totally and utterly a role-playing game to the fullest extent. Micromanagement, grinding like a son of a bitch. It's all right there. Crazy storylines, cutscenes that go on for a good few minutes. If that's not your thing, you're probably not going to like it, but you can watch my Let's Play on CD Bookman Gaming and make the decision for yourself. And thank you all for watching, and more for you soon to come. So stay tuned, take care, and have a great day.